So I have found what looks to be a fairly sound way to cross there and back. So that's done. 90%. I haven't actually done it yet, but it's 99% there. So I decided to crawl back into the woods because I have a clear fairy marble buried in a special place. I'm going to find it. But first, let's stay in the staging area for a second. And, I have been here for many, many months. Actually, ever since that RCMP officer and his wife sexually harassed me in the woods, just with their mentality toward me. And just want to keep away from some unhealthy people. Normally, in the course of your life, you would never run into them because you had things to do and you didn't stay in coffee shops all day where they could basically scope you out, make chit chat with you, and then invite you into their purgatory. Because, everyone has a right to cope in their own way. I have no luck with the local creepy. I want to get a condo in downtown Vancouver or in Surrey or North Van or something, and live out my days walking around Stanley Park, pooping in the woods, and writing graphic novels or bohemian, half-witted hybrids of animal, you inspiring poetry. To me, poetry has always been, in a way that I couldn't express, so much more than poetry. So much more throughout my life. I don't even have words to express it. I mean, what it is, and what it needs to be able to do. It needs to help me make a path to use all of the resources of what connects me in nature and is meaningful and create my own mini civilization. What protects me? What advocates for me? What is the ultimate male and female authority? What leads me back to my mother and father? That I have to, whether or not, understand what led them away from me. What do we do with trauma? What do we do with behavioral compulsions? What do we do with all of the stretches and unnecessary pains to human flesh that our so-and-sos and their so-and-sos have worked really fucking... When people say they fucking work. We give our fucking lives to this world. And it has false claims upon our labor. And that creates all kinds of agitations and potential for violence. And so that to live like an honest, lawful state of life, I feel stalked by my own family most of the time. Me, they eliminate you as a man from every kind of provision for your voice and safety that they claim to be about, to want for themselves, or to have enjoyed themselves. Except that their voices aren't challenged because they actually live very dependent, not on a welfare check, but they live dependent on the entire sort of welfare state of how we can fleece together cult mentality of human beings who are in a very needful state and what is considered economically sufficient ways of speaking the thunder of our labor and our rank. And then all of you meet people retired from, quite reputable careers in law and in law enforcement, and they have nothing to talk about. They don't even know how to social with a regular human being. It's gone from them. What I really liked about my Cockney family is, despite all the working they did, they can always interact with other people much better than I can. But to a lot of the folks around here, they don't really know how to socialize. They don't know how to carry on just reasonable, mutual, courteous interaction with another human being without getting into the level of sexual harassment. I haven't been here so long. I have a nice way home. This is good. What is the next creature that wishes to come up to me? No smoke, of course. We always do. Deal is good. People, you watch these bushcraft, they always bring sausages, chicken stir fry. My primary food source, pinto beans and quinoa, fried in a certain way and cooked in a certain way, with a little bit of chopped up carrot, coconut oil. It's much quicker to burn, and it burns longer, and it has chemically a wider protein chain spectrum for my body, compared to which meat is nothing. I mean, I'll eat it. It's amazing. I love meat. Don't get me wrong. It's got in our lives, but wow, it's not like everything to me. It is to some people. Like, meat, meat, meat. I gotta eat meat, you know? It's like, yeah, I love meat. I salivate for meat. I eat a steak every day if you cook one for me. And by the way, I like my steak medium rare, buddy, right? It's much better for you. And, you know, cows have been good to me all my life. You know, I've made personal connections with cow people. And ever since I was young, I just had a fondness for cows. I'm not saying I know how to take care of cows. I'm not saying I'm a farmer. I'm just saying I have a fondness for these creatures. And they're like really nice people. Like the squirrel people. I actually have really good positive cards today. Like porcupine, squirrel, or something. It's just learn not to be too serious. You know, take the serious factor down. That's kind of the evil that I need to deal with, is my own seriousness. But shock makes you come back to things. I'm gonna go off and get that Clear Fairy marble in Lourdes. It's been sitting there for, well, since last year. Somebody might find it. There are people who roam around here, and I get the feeling someone has been out here since I have it. I got sexually assaulted by this police officer and his wife, and it hasn't been the same since. And I didn't come back after that, but it's not the same. But you know, and probably I'm pretty sure what I consider sexual assault and what the average police officer can, are two very different things. Right? Don't make me feel unsafe. If I can walk 15,000 miles and I can sit here and hundreds of people, for some reason you can't, and you make me feel unsafe and uncomfortable and undignified and humiliated, right? Like I'm fucking nothing. And on top of which, telegraphing the fact that you don't seem, in whatever state of mind you have, to be aware of where you are in space and time, but somehow you think you're some kind of moral paragon. You don't even know where you are. You don't have any personal space. You know, you look like you belong in a mental hospital for homeless people, and you're judging me. Do you understand that I've seen a lot of people here or there, and none of those hundreds of people ever bothered me. But people who know my name, or should, or have met me, and they're female, connected to any of these local family services, they're dangerous. I mean, they put you on notice. Like, they're a person to know. They're dangerously undeveloped human beings. And that freaks me out. You go to the bylaw office, you go to the Parks and Rec, you go here, you go there, the Nature Trust, the city, fire, ambulance, anything and everything, doctors, nurses, police, RCMP. These people are completely different kinds of human beings. It's like, wow, I don't feel safer on any of them. And you want to meet nice people, but I haven't. And the locals and everything, if they're white and they have a vagina, you might as well give it up. You're so aggressive. So aggressive. It's almost like you wish you had this, but with people from a big city. I think people from a big city would be healthier and enjoy this more than most of these rural people who will say things like, I've lived here for 40 years. Like it's some sort of badge on your chest because you've lived on Vancouver Island for 40 years. Like, you go to the city, they're healthier. You go to Vancouver, you go to Toronto, you go to Montreal, people are healthier. They're healthier, they're healthier. You don't see so many obese, slovenly people filling their faces with junk food every day. They've all got something to do. It's amazing. They're loving their lives. They still get fresh air. Oh, man. But here, you don't see a lot of people like me backpacking around. And if you do, you're more likely to be people assume you're a homeless person. You're getting great exercise. You know, their boyfriends and the girls with their big tight butts, they'll go to the local gym because they can do this and show their ass and show their tits. Hey, look at me, tits and nipples, yay. And they'll do that for an hour a day, but it's like, what is it doing? You're not even getting fresh air. Look at what you can do. And there's one young girl, she was with her boyfriend out here. Her tits were just hanging out of her chest. Woohoo, yay! Tits are on my chest. Look at how they feel. They're spilling right out. You can't touch them, but they are sweet, like kumquats and peaches combined. It's like, do you want to like wean me or something? Is that what you're offering? I love it when women, I love it when women are modest. Put something over that shit. You know, I cover up my balls. You don't have to see anything to do with my balls. Ever. Never gonna see my balls or penis, la la la. You don't want to. I don't want to see women's asses. I don't want to see your ass crack. I don't want to see your vaginal crack. I don't want to see your tits. I don't want to see when your ass starts and your mouth begins. You know? Cover up. All my life. Women, tits, and ass. You know? They so want to expose themselves everywhere they go. Let me ask you a question. Here's an example of a white woman on the coast. Let's say you live somewhere where there was a tiny little private naked beach. Every now and then people go there for clothes. And you go there and you're there by yourself. Someone's there by themselves. And they're the opposite sex. And you're swimming, you can see their clothes are there. And if you leave and come back in 15, 20 minutes and a half hour, they'll probably be gone. Do you come and sit on this tiny little beach with your fucking clothes off and you're fat and obese, right? Or do you come back now? While the white women here, they just take off their fucking fat, obese body and just start waiting from your swim so they can get a look at your penis. Right? That's not the meaning of a naked beach. That's not the meaning of a nude beach. To go and gawk at people's genitalia. Right? Courtesy. Right? Courtesy. I was on that same place with a woman who is a sexual predator. She was with her boyfriend, had her tits and ass out and everything. I didn't fucking look. I went to the opposite end of the beach and laid down. The next time that woman came up to me, she sexually harassed me. Thinking our relationship in her mind had gone to the next level. Because she was naked within 100 feet of me. Can you fucking believe that? Angry and hostile almost every time I see her. And then all of a sudden, boop. And it was the same thing with this guy's other girlfriend. They were all aggressive. And they were all interested in me. His hand-me-downs. They'd be aggressive. They'd be flirty. They'd be... I'm like, holy fuck. This is too much for me. I'm getting sexually harassed by every woman on the island. I don't know how men deal with it. I mean, what do other men experience? I get it all the time. Anyway, this is my own country. I'm gonna try to pack up again. And I don't like to stay too much in the one place. I'm gonna go find that marble. Hey. I'm past 1 or something at this point. At least. Okay. And there we go, and there we go. I'll probably get some water just to ground it out a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see if I can figure. So the great thing is that bridge that I found. It's not really dependent on how high the river's running. You do have to be careful though, for sure. Be careful. Okay, we're in. Okay, this is our second joint today. Only our second. Third backup, but probably not going to need it. I thought some days it's nice to have a little bit around. Oh, that's really nice. Even if there's no one here, I still find myself looking, wondering if I'm going to run into somewhere. Okay. I don't know, I'm going to bring that clear marble home for the hell of it, because it has to do with guidance and protection, and I've left it there. We'll see if it's there. And I've got 2 more marbles, but that's my one clear marble. So, be like my loot for the day. Find it, a little proof that I did something. I've got my pockets filled with all the right stuff. Gloves on. I'm gonna leave my stick there for now. I don't really need it. Let's go. Not seeing any deer. We're not going to teach. No. Imagine if it was like English professors in Oxford. We are not going to take it. No, we are not going to take it. We are not going to take it anymore. Your parents have been so unruly. We're going to sing our rebellion. We're smoking in the boys' room, and that is that. Okay, very good, Landon. You can be a complete brat. You know, just making fun of us, and or taking sport, or taking the mickey out of us, is a complete bastard. Okay, I think I know where it is. Okay, this place has always seemed smaller than it is. Here we go. I know where it is. Ooh, deer poop. It's fresh. Ooh, at least it's not bear poop. Being trapped on this thing is a different thing. Seen a couple fishermen. Eagle to start the day. Protection. Ooh. I just knew that every day. Stay away from aggressive, ugly white people. It'll be fun. Ooh. It's like everyone I meet, right? One person is just this ugly human. You know, and then there's someone in there to like. I understand they never treat me with respect. You know, what do you have to do? I treat people with respect. You don't have to earn it, but trust and distrust are doled out carefully, as you would want. Okay, now so there might be a ball in here, there might not be, so. What do you think? So here's the tree. And I put a crystal ball here. River might have been up, and someone might have been looted. Oh, what's this? Nope. Let's see where we left it. We might have left it under a leaf. Some leaves have fallen. We don't know. I'm gonna take my glove off and look around. Just be like an archaeologist. Take leaves off. See if there's a crystal ball in here somewhere. It's been a while. I'm not quite sure where I would have put it, but I know it's up here somewhere, or it was, I should say. You can kind of see where it might fall if it fell down. But you know, people come here and they might have come here and found it, or found themselves a nice little prize, or the fairies took it. You know, they can do that too. No, not seeing it anywhere. Okay. You don't really have to prove it. Oh, look, there's an old joint. You might just have to move it. Your little orb is never here. No, it doesn't look like it's here, but would have been fun if to find it, though. I mean, I've left things in places and I don't know how much detritus we need to remove, but I know it was here weeks or months after, but might have just spoiled this place. That's fine. I don't see it. I'm kind of looking a little more vigorously. Scooping around. No. I mean, it would be. Maybe someone set at a camera to see, like, I wonder who comes back for it. It's like, there's movement. No. You know, someone probably found it. That would have been cool. Oh, that's not. No. No. Or should have put it somewhere else, maybe. I don't know. Maybe someone took it and hid it somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's in here. Check. No. It could have fallen by itself, but it's hard to find. I found it, and actually, I think it has its own destiny because I found it somewhere in a very rare location, and that's okay. I don't think I'm going to find it, but sometimes they'll be surprised if they want to be found, but I don't think so. Huh. That's disappointing. I mean, always the worst, you know, like, did someone really come along and find that? I mean, it's kind of an interesting place. Someone could be like, oh, gee, there's a, or maybe they didn't see it and it just fell to the ground while they were fucking around or something. Oh well, that's that. I can't stay here any longer, so it's good. Oh well, a little disappointing. Oh well. Well, we came back a little too late, I guess. Yeah. I see a chip here, so somebody was here eating chips, and there's not the kind of chips that I eat, so somebody was here hanging out with their friends and probably found it. Well, I hope they enjoy it then. Okay, let's go. I've never encountered like such a serious amount of bullying since I've been in my mid 40s and 50s now. You think that age would protect you. Whatever. And it's, you know, middle-aged white people, middle-aged white females, middle-aged white females. It's a really weird area. And then you start to kind of get a sense, like, start to say, like, this region, the people of this region are uniquely afflicted. They really are. I'm going to go head up to the river. I've got all day. I mean, there's nothing to do. So. Oh, they're quite uniquely afflicted. And so that's a reason it's a reason to feel endangered. You know, it doesn't matter where I go, I can hear the voice of the aggression of the young to middle-aged white female. And it is incredible how they're accustomed to talking to older or similarly aged white men. It's incredible how quickly they move to aggression. You know, even though their profession is to interact with the public. I don't think a lot of them really know what hostility really is. I don't think they know what a professional courtesy is. I don't think they have any of this knowledge. I don't think they find it. It's a degraded region. You know, the smart ones go off to university and leave the area so they can become decent people. I think. I'm not sure there's any guarantees anywhere on the West Coast. first thing my white son is lie to me. I mean, it's just, how many of them lie? It's a lying world of the white people. Okay, so, this is good. So, no crystal. I feel like Geraldo Rivera when he went into Al Capone's tomb. Nope, nothing here. Would have been fun to find it, wouldn't it? A year later. Cool. Oh well. Somebody found it. The thing is, you want to leave it somewhere you can find, but it's another place. It's a place that someone else can find. I have 2 more marbles out there. I think if anything, the water's come on. Oh, maybe not. Some ducks up there, 3 of them. Number 3, Solilo, release unnecessary fears. I really do have to find a way to just ground in that. It's so beautiful. So close. Interesting subject, I think. That's I think that's I'm going to talk about it, but I see. It'd be nice to just go across here, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd be the last thing I do. Okay. Invariably, you can get into a debate with psychopaths in various industries as to what is right and what is wrong. And there are, of course, vast disagreements as to how wrong various things are in terms of their treatment of children, the elderly, in all these local homes. There's, urban legends about just derelict in their duties. Various care workers can be. And, you might think a few things when you hear that, because, you're thinking of the working people, and people, particularly from a certain kind of consideration. You don't know their jobs. You don't know what they go through. We all know what the litany is. You don't know that. Well, what I do know is that they steal shit from old people. I'm not even talking about the color of their skin, just anyone. They steal shit. And they rob them of their health, and they rob them of their lives, and they rob them of certain consideration. And there are various things that can be learned from this. Is that if you don't want to, you can't, or maybe you shouldn't, attempt or expect too much. And pay people to care about your family, right? Because you can't pay someone enough to your family the way you do. That's what you learn in the medical system and in the retirement systems of the world. You pay someone really, you can't. Because when people are working, especially people with special needs, they can color outside the lines as much as they want. After all, they're on graveyard shift, and they've got a life out there. They've cleaned up so many people's crap so many times. I really care, right? So we don't, in any industry like that, we don't test for the remarkable, standout people who love serving humans that much. That's sort of a 1 in 1,000 person that you might find when you call the government or go to the movie theater. That 1 in 1,000 person is just like, hey, I'm here to serve you, and I love serving people, and you never have problems with those people. You never get angry at them, and they always seem to be particularly interested and competent in helping you find what you need, right? It's amazing. And you wonder, why don't they train the other people? And then you find that the people usually are the worst get asked to train people. And so almost everyone on the staff is brought to the lowest possible common denominator because the status quo favors that. They don't like being outstripped. They don't want someone to work better than they do. It's like the spirit of a union comes over them, right? You don't go to work to do the best you can. People out there, those masses of humans, they're totally thankless. Again, fucking cockasses. They need us to educate them. We don't need to be educated by them. They are the enemy. And that's what you get. That counter might as well be the wall between East and West Berlin, you know? And you walk into coffee shops with white men and women standing there, and that counter might as well be the wall between East and West Berlin. And guess which side you're on? And it feels that way. New language is that way. They don't say hello. They don't ask you how you're doing. Sometimes I'm actually thinking, did I come in here with, some 10-foot tall Satan behind me? It's like, wow, they really should work on their public relations. And you can leave, go down the street to a coffee shop or a restaurant, and I say that complimentary with respect, because everyone's an immigrant, no one's an immigrant. But what I mean is like best people. In other words, their immigration is they imported something of a real culture into these colonial lands, and they're more natural than the people who think, this is their birthright, and they treat you with such deference, and you're like, this is night and day. Oh my Lord, they don't see Satan behind me. They leave me with a smile. Blah blah blah. It's like, what's the difference? Is the difference me, or is the difference them? And it could take a lifetime to figure it out, how evil works. Right? When people are lazy, particularly people who aren't that good at what they do, are more likely to find reasons to not do what they do well. And people who do that will generally find people to blame it on. Right? And they see you coming a mile away because you're someone who might demand more from them than they're accustomed to giving to people A, B, C who look like you. Decent human beings, just wonderful human beings. You ever notice that you can be a wonderful human being but you like shit? You ever known like a wonderful person and you can't believe that people have done things to them? How could they do that? And it takes a lot of work to find out how humans do things that they wouldn't normally do, right? Peter Hitchens said, it takes a religion to get good people to do evil things. It takes a cult mentality. It takes a cult mentality. And it takes a world that forces people to be very susceptible to a cult mentality. And this is where economic differences and gender differences, they become a really scary array of parameters that you could never satisfy if you're a victim of that mentality. You walk around basically with a victim painted on your back, depending on what kind of people you're near. For me, they're women, usually, and they might seem to like me. They might be a bit flirtatious. They might accuse me of awful things. They might do this, they might do that. But it's never a good thing, right? They'll never give you a fair shake. You might even marry them, and 20 years later, you'll think, God, there was blood on the wall the moment I walked into that store. And you'll give your whole life to them. The only person I want to give my life to after a lifetime of being abused by women is my mother. I'll do anything for her. Every day is dedicated to my mom. She lives, she's healthy. Dedicated to my mom and our dog. Because their health is symbiotic. This is lovely. It's the second. I didn't think I'd come around here again, but it's lovely. There are the fishermen here now. I'm going to walk on the rocks by the river this time. I'm going to enjoy that. Because still, I think it's afternoon, isn't it? gonna get home like 4 or 5. At this point, we're well on our way. And there we go. There's lots of here. There's my staff. Use that. But yeah, I think I found just across. So that's good. I think it's very good for me. You know, basically. I really did it. I really pulled through. We did it. You can only really figure it out by doing it. So the way I came over was treacherous, and the way I'm going back isn't. Not as much anyway, as long as you're really careful. Ouch. Steps in my knees. Give the coast a little exploration. The ones over. Little doodly. There is something that's fucking. That's almost like a bear. Shit. Look at that. That's a bear paw, I think. That's a bear paw. Or I don't know what that is, but wow. Let's see if there are any bears. They're very rare around here. They definitely cross this river and walk around here. So I have seen it once. One of the first times I saw it there. No, I shouldn't say one of those. One of the first times I got into close proximity in a certain condition. I've had enough bears. They're quite harmless for the most part. There's somebody. That'll be good swimming in the summer, maybe.